Welcome back, lottery fans. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do a reverse 135 rundown for the Pick 4 lottery. And I just want to start off by saying a big thank you to everyone that's been leaving comments and giving me thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. I love getting that kind of feedback from you guys. I've got a lot of requests for rundowns and I'm going to try and get them out to you as soon as I can. But a big thank you for everyone that's leaving comments, subscribing and giving me a thumbs up. So as I said, today's rundown is going to be the reverse 135 for the Pick 4 lottery. And we're going to be using the Kentucky midday for this actual rundown. We did the standard Pick 4 135 rundown a few days ago. I'll leave a link in the description to that video so you can go ahead and take a look at that. But this is actually the reverse one, and it follows much the same pattern, just a little bit different math, and I'll show you how easy it is to do that as we go through this. We're going to be using the midday lottery drawing from the 10th of February as the example for this, and much like the regular 135, we only need the one lottery result. As always, if you want a copy of this rundown worksheet, you can download it for free from lotterypredictor.com. I'll leave a link down below in the description so you can go ahead and get that. So in the midday Kentucky lottery on the 10th, we had the result of 0617. And all we're going to do is, much like last time, we're going to fill in our base grid using the reverse 135 pattern, and then we're going to mix it up a little bit today. We're actually going to go ahead and fill in the translated grid as well using our mirror numbers, and I'll show you how to do that. So in the traditional 135 pattern, we filled in this first column. In the reverse, we're actually going to fill in this last column, and then you'll see why in a minute why we're actually going to fill in the last column instead. So we're going to take our lottery result here and we're going to fill it down in a vertical manner. We're going to start with the first box, which fill in a 0 there. The next one is a 6, and then a 1 and a 7. Now in the traditional 135 pattern, what we did is we added 135 in each of the boxes. This time we're going to actually subtract 1, 3 and 5 from this number in order. And that's why it's called reverse, because we're basically flipping what we did. We're putting the number in the opposite side of the box, and we're subtracting the numbers rather than adding numbers. And I'll step through this right now so you'll see just how easily and clearly it can be done. So in this first column here, immediately to the left of our number, we're going to take a -1 on the number here. So for example, in if a 0, you take a -1 from 0, and we'll get a 9 from that. A 6 minus 1 is 5, a 1 minus 1 is 0, and then a 7 minus 1 is 6. So that's the first column filled out. Moving into the next column on the left, we're going to do a -3. And we're going to do the -3 from the original number, not the second number that we filled out here, but from the original number itself. So all of these minuses are happening from our original number. So a 0 minus 3 is 7. A 6 minus 3 is 3. A 1 minus 3 is 8. And a 7 minus 3 is 4. And then, as you'd expect, the very last column here is going to be our -5. So a 0 minus 5 would be 5. A 6 minus 5 would be 1. A 1 minus 5 would be 6. And a 7 minus 5 would be 2. So we got our base grid filled out there. And that's really the cusp of the reverse 135. As I said, we're reversing it because we're putting in the last column, and then rather than adding 1, 3, and 5, we're subtracting 1, 3, and 5 from the number. So we can go ahead and fill out our translated grid here, and then I'll show you how to fill in the suggested numbers section at the bottom here. And to get the translated grid, it's just our standard pattern using the mirror numbers here. We'll take each number from this grid, look up the mirror number for it, and fill it in on the translated grid here. So on we'll take the 5, and we look up on the mirror number of the 5 is a 0, put that in there. Mirror number of 7 is 2, mirror number of 9 is 4, and a mirror number of 0 is 5. And I'll just go through and fill all of these out real quick. Mirror number of 1 is 6, mirror number of 3 is 8, 5 is 0, 6 is 1, 6 is 1 here, a mirror number of 8 is 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 1, and 2. So there we go, we have our translated grid now filled out with our mirror numbers here. And you can use flip numbers if you want. The trick of these is to do your rundowns, do a couple of different methodologies, and then see what pattern has been working in your lottery by going back and looking at past results and what have you. Now that we've got our base grid and our translated grid, we can go ahead and pick which patterns we want to work with. And as always, you know, I like to use the 2 straight downs here in our base grid and the 2 across over here in our base grid. So that will give me a 5307 and a 0582 and a 7384, 9506 from the base grid. And then I like to take exactly the same pattern and play it in my translated grid as well. So the 2 downs and the 2 acrosses. And you don't have to play these patterns, these are just my personal preferences. You can certainly go ahead and play whichever pattern you find is hitting best in your state, or you can make up your own pattern based on your gut feeling of what you think, which numbers you think are good and hot right now in your state. So in the translated grid, that gives me a 0852, 5037, and 2839, and a 4051. So this gives me 8 numbers that I can now start playing in the Kentucky Midday Lottery. Typically I'll play a rundown for a couple of weeks, and if it's not hitting after about the first 4 or 5 days, I'll probably change it up and play a different rundown, but I'll normally play them for a maximum of about 2 weeks before finding another rundown. So that's it, very simple. That's the reverse 135 rundown. As always, please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, leave me a comment below, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, bye.